What's going on, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm back with another Spy Family Season 3 episode review. This is episode 50, the season finale. It's entitled, A World Where We Cannot Survive. Whoo! So, before I get into it, yes, this is a Christmas hat. 2, I'm going to need you to hit the like button. 3, I need you to subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video, leave a comment down below. I'd love to know what you thought of the season, this episode, my reviews, what have you. And also, please visit that Patreon link that's in that description right there. There's 4 different levels that you can donate to, but you can generally donate whatever you choose to. And if you do, I deeply appreciate you. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas. We got New Year's coming up. So, hey, anyway. This is the conclusion to where, remember when Nightfall / Fiona Frost gave that man that clean right, but it obviously broke her wrist, broke her, break. Apparently this isn't broken. Apparently this is dislocated, but she broke her shit. And I like that Winston Wheeler's confused, like, what just happened? Because he got his whole face just smushed in and he bruised up because he hurt. And the narrator, Mr. Narrator, man, I like the illustration here. Good job. Where blue is good because generally the human brain puts limiters on it so that we don't use our full 100% strength. Because if we were, it would lead to breaking bones, tearing muscles, etc., etc. And that's what this is right here. That's kind of it's the not the theory, but the concept of like adrenaline, where a mother lifts a car, or not even a car, lifts a bus to get her baby from underneath. I'm pretty sure adrenaline is an amazing and scary thing. Especially once it wears off, all the damage hits at one time. But narrator tells us that this woman's brain has been turned off, meaning she is pissed, and she is pissed, right? We get some real cool music for her, and she runs down Wheeler. She has a little speech here. She calls him weakling. He's scared to die. He's scared of being betrayed, so much so that he can't trust anyone. You won't even look close enough to deem if anyone is trustworthy or not, and you've abandoned all thought. But she's like, I trust him, talking about Twilight. And she admits to always thinking about him. And I'm like, girl, that's obsession. That's not, that don't come off as good as you think it does. And he's like, well, spare me your bullshit, bro. She don't give a damn. She's coming in with the left now. And she comes in, she lands a kick on him, but Wheeler's like, all right, so, she's lost use of one arm, one leg. That means she can't do too much. So if I get the distance, she slings her arm. Like, what? Can't think of that character from Under Night in Birth. So, Ryuzaki is he from King of Fighters? Fatal Fury. The guy just whips his hand. She whips her right arm around, dislocated and all, and just uses it, which probably put more damage on it. This was a really good fight for her. And yeah, he's KO. He gone. He knocked out. That man knocked out. And before she gets there to, make him permanently KO, Loid rips off the mask, sits here and tells her, hey, you ain't got to kill him, right? And we get a nice little conversation between the two, right? She does fall, right? Because I tell you, once that adrenaline wears off, she falls. She can't use one leg, and the other arm is all, she look like she doing a stanky leg. And Loid goes through saying, good job capturing him. They tie him up. They bind his eyes, bind his arms. He already knocked out, so they can move him a little bit better. But they're gonna use him as a negotiation chip. Right, she almost said love, by the way. She's like, no, you fall over. And she was surprised. Now, this is a theme throughout the episode about Loid losing a step. And I love that Fiona called bullshit on this, what he's about to say. She was surprised he got the jump on him. She's like, that bullet that he took in his right arm, that bullet you took, was that from him too? And Oh, while they're about to have this conversation, she's thinking about the fact, oh, wait a minute, did he hear that confession I made? So her face is getting red. And he thinks she's mad about him having lost a step. That is red face. She gets red face again later. We'll talk about that in a bit. And, he says, no, this is from Yuri Brier. And the reason that Yor married him was to put her brother at ease. So he figures, if she loses her brother, that will be a significant loss and a setback in Operation Strix. And I'm like, that's half a lie. And as soon as I said that, I told you, Fiona's not buying it. She thinks the fact that he doesn't call Yor Brier, calls Yuri Brier, doesn't call her Yor, just call her Yor. Even later in the card, he says, my wife. And, she says his feelings are correct. And when he says it's for the mission, she can't refute it. She's like, that's unfair, sensei. Sorry, not sensei, senpai. Because she calls him senpai. The translation is so weird here because we get kawaii subordinate, cute subordinate, which gets translated to precious subordinate, and we get senpai, to which they translate it to twilight. I get it. You're trying to make it make sense for, if someone were, when they dub this, that's probably how they're going to say it. But words have meaning. Just saying, words have meaning, even if you're trying to make it make sense. So the older guy, I wish I knew his name, but the older guy who even Loid calls senpai to, who's dressed up like Gascoigne, he come in because they're resting. He's like, I love the whisper talk. He's like, why are you posting down? The state security service, whatever. I call him Triple S because of the other S. But the Triple S is looking for us. So he says, you carry Wheeler, and pops back in Nightfall's dislocated arm, and then he carries her, and she is literally freaking I can't curse yet, but freaking the F out. Man, the updates to this has really ruined how I can zoom in on things. And you can just see it on her face. Just look at that face right there. Her face is super red, and she's just, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I like how all of the tension has completely left now. Excuse me. And of course, in the back of her mind, or should I say, these letters, they spell out, I love you. It's like, I love you. And very calmly, she's like a damn serial killer. Very calmly, she says, it's all right. You can put me down, senpai. I can walk on my own. And he's like, don't be dumb. Right? I'm not gonna let you down. You're gonna just slow us down. Let's just keep going. It's talking about she only broke her toes and fibula. That was a hard ass kick she gave. There's another thing that didn't get translated. See, your translators are just whack, man. I miss fan subs. I'm just gonna flat out say I miss fan subs, because fan subs will at least use the whole damn screen. You had the bottom one for what someone's saying. If it's two people talking, or if there's someone talking, there's a song, and they translate the song at the top, or they put the information at the top. Why does official subs suck worse than the fan subs I had literally 20 years ago? In rant. As I was saying, so we see she further talk about accepting her humiliation. Girl, please. Anyway, they make it out. We see them make it out. I like that, because apparently, since they're not working with the local police, they don't have different checkpoints. So blue team, they able to get out. Blue team confirms that the mole they had, and with the bad guys, because I'm calling them the bad guys, they're assholes. With the triple S's got taken out. That dude, he did. He probably did. They've been done did kill him. I wish we could have seen or get a little short of maybe they were like, yeah, we're gonna get some information out of you, and he just bites some cyanide. Or fights his way out to the point where they have to, right? But knowing these dumbasses, they probably just got rid of them instantly. They want a war because they're POSs. That's pieces of shite. And they're having a conversation. They're like, old man calls him Twy Guy. And like, yeah, you're gonna buy me a beer. He's like, nah, I gotta get home. I left out because it was supposed to be an emergency for work, and there's trouble at home. He's like, oh man, even a guy like you had trouble. She, being Fiona, being Nightfall, wants to cause a rift. So she's like, oh, we should all go there and fix it. And the older dude's like, yeah, stay out of people's marriage problems. That's how you help. And in the back of her mind, she's like, I'm not trying to help. And I like how Loid is like, baka, like, idiot, you're going to a hospital. And of course, she does go to a hospital. And this is leading us into this next part. I have to tell it in order. Ish. I'm gonna save the hospital part for last. Am I saving the last? Yeah, I'm saving the hospital part for last. So Loid gets home and he's just, first of all, he's lamenting on the fact that he hesitated when it came to the Yuri part. And he does say this in the shower. And the reveal that he had on a fake arm, like he had fake tissue on, and he put it on just in case, was, first of all, top level thinking. But he's so wound up. He's like, I gotta fix this with Yor. Yor by now obviously is sober, and this is the reaction our boy has. His eyes are every which way but crossed. They're not crossed. It's just, I love how we can get this serious, very good, very actiony art, and then it just goes straight into, goofy time. La 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 la. It's goofy time. Anywho, they both have a conversation. She tells him about what happened with the going out with Camille and the other girls at work. He says, well, if you want to have a gripe, can you help me with the chores and the pre-prep for tomorrow, please? And she says, honestly, it wasn't about gripes. It was about, she's happy that she's able to help him and he can rely on her. Because she says, you do everything on your own. Even when you're struggling, you don't really show it. And she tells him, you don't have to be perfect. You can, rely on me. And that's really all she wants. But he says, and I like is now this is something that I think is up for interpretation. He says, you're wrong though, when I looked in his eyes, I realized how painfully weak I am. And he has to be perfect to survive in the world. And when I think, I'm gonna take off my Christmas hat for this one. What I think, when he says his eyes, we see Yuri and then we see Wheeler. Whose eyes is he talking about? Is he talking about the fact that even though he was hurt, that Wheeler got the jump on him, so he has to be perfect so he can live? Because that could have been just the end of everything if that mask came off and if Nightfall didn't get there in time. Or is he talking about the thing with Yuri? Like, he's so like, man, I thought I got to keep this family thing going, and I don't want to lose my family, whether he wants to admit it or whether he even knows it, or is it just in the back of his mind? I don't want to lose my family. And so I buckled. I buckled, and that makes me weak. I got to be sure. I got to keep going forward. Even when Yuri busts in right now, he stands up immediately. Or what was the other part? When Yor is burning his shirt while she's trying to iron it. He's like, did Yuri Brier come back? And he really figured it out. And he faints because he is so woundly tight. He even admits when he gets home, if they can catch Winston Wheeler, he wouldn't be able to come back. Like, all of this would have been for naught. All of it would have been done. And whether Loid realizes it or not, he enjoys having this fake family. So, Yuri comes. Loid's going to try to make some tea. And I didn't see it, but apparently there was a moment of hesitation when he reached for it. And Yuri remembers that Twilight dressed as him was shot in the arm. So he goes, roll that bitch up. And it's clean. It's clean, y'all. Yeah, it's clean, ain't it? It's clean. And so he comes up with this thing like, oh, well, you should roll your arms up so you don't get caught in a burner. Or when Loid came in, his face was messed up. He told Yor, oh, man, there was a pro wrestler who didn't like needles. That's why I got messed up. And then Yuri goes, oh, my boss back The literally rough translation, he said back body, so back body drop. They translate into body slam. Two different things, translation team. A back body drop is completely different than a scoop body slam. Completely different. Wrestling nerd here. Just have to say that. I digress. He has to leave because he has to do paperwork, because he rushed there because he's obviously trying to break them up just like Nightfall is. But yeah, now Loid, when he gets, I told you, he went in the shower and he put that thing on. He's like, I'm glad I thought ahead. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, so he can't let his guard down with Yuri, because Yuri paid attention to that momentary jolt when he was reaching with that arm, which I didn't see no damn jolt, but okay. But I find it interesting that he thought that far ahead to let me slap this on, because all this spy stuff they got. Yeah, good thinking. Do I want to talk about the family part, or do I want to talk about the hospital? Let's talk about the hospital, because Sylvia sure would handle it. That's my girl. That's my homie. So Nightfall is in the regular hospital where they work. The alibi they come up with her. She fell from the 4th floor to the 1st floor, and that's why she has breaks. They're clean breaks, no muscle tear fibers. That pervy boss comes in. He has these VIP patients that give this to Dr. Forger. He doesn't want to do it because, one, it'll piss him off, and two, he just wanted to see her, but she completely rejected him. And Sylvia comes in pretending to be a nurse and shoots him out. And this is great voice acting here. Even in Japanese, you can tell if you pay attention. If you watch enough anime as I have, pay attention to these things. I love that Japanese voice actress went from, she pretended to be a nurse. So it's up here. It's like, get out. And then immediately that octave drops and she is serious. I'm your subordinate. She's like, is that any way to talk to your subordinate? Again, Fiona is the ice queen, just no emotion. And she's like digging her knuckle in, right? And saying, I'm here to cover your asses because both you and Twilight literally cannot move. Second time that Twilight in this season could not move. Second time. This scene is hilarious to me because she says, that hurts, please stop. Don't make me call a nurse. Monotone. Love it. In her head, she goes crazy. But on the outside, flat. She's a spy. Sylvia also makes a joke that she wanted to dress up like a nurse. Fiona's like, please don't infiltrate just to be funny. But apparently her muscle fibers and stuff not tearing because she did that training after the tennis thing in season 1, core 2, part 2, where she was in the woods just doing backhands with rocks and stuff, and the animals were scared. She's like, wow, the irony of that, me trying to beat her, and this happens. And we get a very cute moment where Sylvia essentially tells her, hey, don't overdo it. Actually, funny, Twilight told her don't overdo it. And she said, I don't want to hear that coming from you, which is funny. But, she says, you're also one of my cute, the word was not precious, but cute subordinates. And she had ended up patting her, like she pat her on the head, stroke her on the head. Remember, this is like, she gives older sister kind of mom vibes. If this thing would pop up here, right? She is older. Because she had back problems. She probably been in her 30s, late 30s like myself. If I can just, she has one of these. I got to pay attention to her words. She apologizes for putting her in a dangerous situation, despite that being her mission, and pats her on the head. And the girl's kind of, she shocked. She's like, you're one of my kawaii subordinates. And we get the tension broken when Fiona goes, and by cute subordinates, you mean ultimately obedient, does whatever you say. She's like, I can't deny that, but keep pushing yourself, but don't push yourself too hard, even if it's for his sake. And then leaves out, and it takes her a minute to realize, wait a minute, does Handler know how I feel about Twilight? Of course she does. That's why she's one of my favorite characters. I love a character that is the older character, the older brother, older sister, boss in charge that knows what is going on and pretends to not know. Even tells her, well, it doesn't tell her this, but we can hear her freaking out in the room. And as Sylvia's walking away with her straight face, goes, she's adorable. Yor makes a decent breakfast. Anya admits this. Anya is shocked. Yor was up since 5 trying to do this. And Loid says she looks more beat up than he is, which is funny. Anya reads his mind and finds out, oh, snap. He got shot yesterday. What if she knows that he got shot by her technical uncle? Man, it's so hard to make this out, man, when it gets bright. Apologies. I digress. That's so funny. I thought I had something. Did I have? I didn't get a picture of the other one. But yeah, there's no outing. Anya, they're gonna chill. By the way, Anya was asleep when he got home because she had a good day. Good day at the zoo. She brought her book bag so her mom can clean her handkerchief because those stupid tinnitus bolts. And she also brought home a lion. Now a little lion plushie, which she counts as her, having the lions escape. And then Bond fluffs up he gets jealous. And it's so funny that the dog says the Japanese word for jealous a little bit, but jealous. He tries to stretch out his nose to be an elephant, sneezes, it's nasty. Tries to stretch out his neck to be a giraffe. And Yor says, well, I can wet his arms and around his neck so then he can look like that. And then he's like, you look like an alpaca. Brushes him again. This, Bond is best Bond. So him just being himself. And Anya's like, he looks fluffy. Do me next. Gets her hair all silky. First of all, this is such an adorable scene with mother and child, regardless of blood or however fake this is supposed to be. Mother and child is adorable with the brushing. And then Frankie comes in, Mr. Scruffy Scruff, as she calls him, comes in with a bunch of stuff for Loid because Loid is resting for the rest of the day. And and Anya shows off her silky hair, and so does Bond. And they're like, let's get him next. Let's make him silky smooth. And we get like what he's supposed to look like if we brush his fro down. And Yor's like, you mustn't do that because while he's protesting this, you mustn't do that because we won't recognize him. And he's like, miss, that's just wrong. Operation Silky Smooth. Loid comes out of the room. This dude looks stressed, and he just says, am I 20 minutes in? I am 20 minutes in, so I can say this. That look on his face says, fuck it. Closes the door. With 6 minutes left, we get some cute stuff here. So you got to pay attention to the opener. At least in the opener for season 3, everything that was in the opener actually happened. And it was a reflection of something that happened in the show, such as us seeing Loid's people, not just the opener, the ending. And the ending, in my opinion, is a little bit better. Actors, beautiful song, makes tear come from my eye holes. Shout out to anybody that knows that reference. Anyway, even like the Bond being different animals, I think that's in the opener. It's not just because of that, but because Anya is having a dream, like giraffe Bond, elephant Bond. We got seal Bond, or manatee Bond, actually. And then he explodes into tiny puppy. She's like chibi Bond, right? And then there's a flying Bond, which, man, the art on those wings, that's kind of how I learned how to draw wings. I wish it can just zoom in better than that. I'm sorry. But art on that's good. And it just turns out she's asleep. And when Loid comes out of the room, yawning, his family, his loves are asleep. I do like that Yor mentions that Bond's hair is a lot better and a lot fluffier since he first joined them. And that typically happens with rescue animals. When you rescue them, their hair might be matted, might be thin, As soon as you put some type of love and care into them, they get fluffier, they get healthier, eating better meals. Go to your local shelter, get a rescue today. But yeah, this is 5 out of 5. It's a good ending. I do appreciate, I like how the first 3 minutes we finish this up. Then for the rest, we get like the nice conclusions and everything like that. This season, what arcs did we have? We had not just that good opening episode. We had the Loid backstory, which was really good. We had the bus incident arc, like the bus jacking arc. I feel like I'm missing. Then we had this one. We had the Wheeler incident. 3 major things in one season's pretty dang good. Especially, and then we had good episodes like sprinkled about, like that opener, the Frankie and Fiona team up that I didn't know that I needed. That can be an OTP right there. The Your getting drunk outing thing, which directly leads into, I like how every episode led into something. Like when Loid got hurt, I forget how he got hurt at the beginning of the season. Was it when he was rescuing the tree thing, like with the swing? I forget, with the guy in the season opener. I forget if that's how he got hurt, but he got hurt, and then Sylvia Sherwood gets episode was like, well, we can't call him for this thing. We'll take care of it ourselves. I like how every episode this season just led into the next one. Not necessarily saying like episode, from season 1, heavily everything was together. But like core 2, season 2, there were some episodes that kind of felt like, okay, we're taking a break because that shit was heavy. Like the bombing episode with how we got bombed, it was heavy. We took a break. I like that. I like this. This was good. Or part 2 of season 2, the yacht, the cruise arc. Damn, that was good. That was good. That was also good. Maybe one day I'll talk about my favorite arcs from these 3 seasons. I got a feeling that season 3 is going to get a second core, though. It has to, probably. But yeah, I'll rate this episode 5 out of 5. I'll rate this entire season 5 out of 5. Fun stuff, good stuff, especially the little character moments in here. Nightfall knows Loid's full of shit. Sylvia knows that Nightfall, she knows about Nightfall and Loid actually caring about who they care about. I like that in the character. That's why it's her, Henderson, Anya. Those my top 3. Those my folks right there. And Bond. Well, Frankie and Bond are even. I do like how Frankie did call Bond Borfo, because he goes Borf. He's like, come on, Borfo, you gonna betray me? Funny. What did you think of this season? What did you think of this episode? Please leave it in a comment down below. Thank you for taking some time out to listen to me talk about Spy Family. Don't forget to share the video, like the video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and hit up that Patreon link in the description below. Please be good, be blessed, drink some water, be good to yourselves, be good to others. Either way it goes, please don't be a jerk. All right. Things are hard this time of year, and it's been a rough year. New Year is upon us. So just know, if you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling sad, you're feeling alone, I promise you are not. Reach out to someone, talk to someone. There are people out there that would rather talk to you today than to miss you and mourn you tomorrow. I promise you that. I guarantee you that. Okay? Okay. All right, y'all. Until next time, I still got to do a K-pop Demon Hunters review, and we got Digimon coming up tomorrow. So I'll catch y'all later. Waku waku.